Welcome to Boardroom Voices Africa, where we sit down with the people shaping Africa's economic future. My guest today is Chijoke Okafor Umbazo. It's nice having you here today, sir.
Thank you so much, Ahmed.
He is the founder and CEO of Optimal Bricks. But before real estate, he was known to many as a TV presenter and an investigative journalist. Am I correct?
That's very correct.
Yes. Chijoke, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Most people watching probably know you from the other side of the screen, asking tough questions, not being the one answering the questions. I want to start right there. What was the exact moment that made you decide to step out from being behind the lens and start building the structures yourself?
All right. Thank you so much once again for the privilege to be here. Firstly, I would say that from my background as an investigative journalist and also someone who has traveled around the country and also to other parts of the world, I have done a lot of stories, especially human angle stories and also business stories. And I have come to understand that perhaps I think it was at that point that I understood that I had a niche, I had a flair for business other than, the on screen side of me. So, in the long run, I planned, strategized, consulted with a lot of people, and it took years upon years of learning, unlearning, and relearning to be able to pinpoint exactly what I wanted to do, which was real estate. And coincidentally, I happen to have a lot of friends who are businessmen in the real estate industry. And I had conversations with them. I got to understand the industry even more than I did from the outside. And yeah, as they will say, the rest is history. I'm here now in the real estate industry, but of course, it all started from a studio floor manager, from being a studio floor manager to being a presenter to being an investigative journalist, and so many other things that time might not permit for me to mention.
What was the exact aha moment that made you
Well,
venture
I,
into
I I
this?
wouldn't really say there was an exact moment. There's an adage, an African adage that would say that whenever anybody wakes up, that's the person's morning. So I think I just got to a point where I knew that this is what I wanted to do, and I had to pursue it. I have a flair for not backing down when I embark on something. I have a flair for knowing what I want to do, chasing it, and ensuring that I catch it. So I wouldn't say that I just woke up one morning and, oh, this is the day, but it was just an accumulation of several conversations that I've had, like I said, with different people.
Yes.
That those conversations eventually opened my eyes to this is what I really want to do. And then, yeah, immediately we moved into this year, 2026. I said that this was going to be the year that I will fully transition into the business world. And of course, I was able to, with the help of some of my managers, open up Optimal Bricks Limited. And the business has been doing fantastically well so far. And we give God all the glory.
As someone who consulted for major real estate firms,
Yeah.
what gaps or uncomfortable truths inspired Optimal Bricks?
Well, I think the gaps that I saw mainly for most of the real estate companies was the gap of product knowledge, right? The CEO could have a very wonderful idea, brilliant, beautiful projects, sellable projects, at hand, but they would probably be that lack of product knowledge, that lack of sales knowledge on the part of the sales team or on the part of the team entirely. So you find that it's a very good company, very good structure, lots of staff, but very little to no sales. So at some point, zero sales. So that sort of informed a lot of decisions that I decided to take in my own organization when we eventually started,
Yes.
so as to not repeat the same mistakes that I saw other people making. And most times people say we learn from mistakes. I beg to differ. You don't have to learn from a mistake. You might learn from a mistake, but it doesn't have to be your mistake. You don't need to fall into a ditch to know that you shouldn't go near the ditch without a railing. You just need to watch someone fall in there and you will give yourself some sense. So I watched a lot of people try and fail. I watched a lot of people do things the wrong way, and I choose not to do those things the way they did. I went the opposite way, and it's been very fantastic.
Is there someone who shaped how you lead right now, currently?
In the business world, I might not name a name, I might not name a person, but if there is one person on this earth that I would like to give credence and kudos to, is my father. He instilled in us, not just me, this leadership instinct coming from a family that had mainly boys. You know, it was more of, I wouldn't say a regimental family, because my dad wasn't a military man, but he was a very disciplined man. He was well disciplined. His leadership style is something that I emulate till today. You don't rule, you lead. And you lead by, of course, leading the way. Don't show your staff, don't show your subordinates what to do. Do it and let them copy you. So that's basically how I have lived my life, even before venturing into real estate. But now with a business at hand, it's something that I apply on a daily basis. I don't let my staff do what I say. I let them do what they see me doing. And that way, we have a very strong working team that I believe can't fail at all.
If you could sit your first day as a CEO down for 5 minutes, what would you tell yourself?
I think I will tell myself to hire 3 persons first, which was something that I got to find out later, because, of course, much like I said, that sometimes you don't have to learn from your mistakes, but this is one mistake that I had to learn from. But going forward, I intend to pass it down so that others can learn from it. It will be to hire the services of an accountant, yes, a human resource manager, and most importantly, have your lawyer at hand. So if I had known what I do know now back then, I would have put these 3 set of individuals at the fore to ensure a smooth sailing and a smooth kickoff, by the way. And one thing that I would have told myself, knowing what I know now, I would have given myself a little more leniency, because I was hard on myself. I was new, a greenhorn in the business, in the space, and for the first couple of weeks or even months, I felt like I was already failing. But it took conversations, it took, of course, I have mentors in the field and I also have friends in the field. So it took a lot of conversations, a lot of consultations to be able to understand that, you know what, business might be all exciting to start. You might be feeling excited. Oh, the money is there. The potential of making more money is there. You have your staff, you have your structure. You feel like this must work. And then you jump in and you find out that nobody really taught you how to swim. So you start to drown. But then you are not really drowning. The only thing is you are being welcomed into the realities, harsh realities of business. And when you brace yourself and understand that it is just a phase, it will pass. And when it passes, it's not that it's going to get better or it's going to get smoother. You will only learn how to handle it better. So that's just it.
Do you believe a person shouldn't wait till they're ready?
Okay.
They should start with
Let me go back to how I became a journalist.
Yes.
What you might call an accidental journalist. Because prior to that, I was a writer, a poet. Yes. So I was doing spoken word poetry, going on stages, and then somehow I had a TV presenter friend who had invited me over to the station to do a poem on television. Yes. And I did my thing. It was a music show, but they had a section for poetry. So after I did it, the manager of the station heard my voice and said, "Oh, you know what? I like this guy's voice. Bring him on." But then it wasn't all rosy, because they brought me on, but I had challenges because some people didn't want me on television. So even though they liked my voice and they brought me on, I was not allowed to go on TV anymore. But I stayed. I stayed for years and years. This was in 2014. So that's about 12 years now.
Yes.
Exactly. I stayed and did what I could. And eventually, I had my chance once again on television. And again, the rest is history. So I wasn't ready, but I jumped into it. When it comes to the real estate business, aspect, I would also say I wasn't fully ready in the sense that I had started a project. I knew where the money was coming from, but I didn't know where the money that would sustain and finish the project was going to come from. So I just jumped into it, and somehow it's often a step of faith that leads to, bigger leaps in the future. Once you take one step in the dark, the staircase shows itself. So if you're afraid of taking a step, you'll continue to be in the same place, or you'll continue to keep going in circles, or waiting for some miraculous hand that will reach down to you and pick you up. So one thing I would say is no one is ever fully ready for anything. Are you married, Ahmed?
No.
Okay. I'm married. I wasn't ready when I got married. Most people who are married will tell you they didn't feel ready. Most people who start businesses will tell you they didn't feel ready. Most people who start university or go back to school at 30, 40, 50 will tell you they didn't feel ready. Just did it. There is never a time when you will be 100% ready. The most important thing is to take that leap or that step of faith.
How does your background in media and storytelling influence how you command a room during a high-stakes decision meeting or investor pitch?
I think it's just the flair. Naturally, I'm a born speaker. I'm bold. I don't think there is a room that I would enter that I would feel intimidated by anything or anyone. I have never been in I have sort of been in situations where my heart pounded as I wanted to talk to someone, perhaps a high-profile individual. But then at the end of the day, I always happen to brace myself. But when it comes to meetings, when it comes to negotiations, the major factor there is to ensure that you are as relaxed as possible. You are in your best frame of mind. You are mentally, physically, spiritually, I might add, ready for that confrontation or for that meeting. And when you do that, I tell you, when you walk into that place, be yourself. Be yourself. There is absolutely no reason to jitter. There's absolutely, except you're not certain of who you are and what you do or what you're selling. But if you're certain, during meetings, during negotiations, just be yourself. Give the best of yourself. Always put your best foot forward. And I think that's just what has helped me. I don't know how to, I can't even explain it. I just don't know how to not be brave.
As a CEO, I'm very sure you've had to make very hard board decisions. Can you tell us about a board decision, a hard one that you made while others doubted you?
Well, our organization is fairly young, but there are certain decisions that I might add we have made as an organization. I don't like me. It's an organization, so I want to speak for Optimal Breaks right now. So at the inception, there were some people that we hired whom we saw a lot of prospects in and we thought were going to be very useful to the organization and also to the team. Yes. But just a few months or weeks, one of them was just a few weeks and the other was a few months into their 3 months probation, we discovered that they were not a fit for the team, even though they had bonded well with the team. And it was like we just had the perfect marketing department. We had to let them go. It was difficult. It wasn't something that we were excited about because we had just started. We had just recruited. And here we had people with potential, but along the line we discovered underneath that they had certain traits that would poison the organization and other staff. So we had to sack them. It wasn't easy because that would mean us having to recruit again. And the process of recruitment is a very tedious and strenuous one. So this is just one of the many decisions that we had to take as an organization, not just me now, but the organization had to take to be able to sustain itself, to keep itself alive. So business is all about difficult decisions and also being in difficult situations. The decisions you make when you are in difficult situations will determine how long, how far, and how healthy your organization is. So that's it about that.
What happens when data says one thing and your gut says another?
When data
yes
says one thing
and your gut says another, which wins? Who wins?
Both can win at the same time. There's a saying I would always make that you might lie to the world, you might put up a facade, to the world. But when you are in your bedroom, Ahmed, when you are in your bedroom alone,
yes,
in the privacy of your room, with all your vulnerabilities, yes, don't lie to yourself. Do not lie to yourself. You can lie to me. You can tell me you are the best presenter in the whole of Abuja or the best presenter in the whole of Nigeria. You can make me believe that. But when you go back to your bedroom, do you really believe it? So, you can lie to the world, be very brutally honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. So yes, there are instances where the data is showing one thing, your instincts are showing another thing, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to pick up that data, merge it with your instincts, think of a better way. Again, not just you, with your team. I would always emphasize on teamwork. There is no me without my team. There is no CEO without Optimal Breaks Limited. So it's up to you to decide alongside your team, what is the data saying? What can we do about the data? Can we tweak the data? Can we act in any way that can make this data that is showing us this go in line with what we actually want, for the business? So instincts are also good. As a businessman, one of the best things that you can have is an instinct that works. If you have an instinct that this business deal that you're about to strike might not really be good, this money you're about to collect is probably money siphoned from government coffers or something. When you have that instinct, I beg you, do not lie to yourself. Be very brutally and absolutely honest, and I tell you, you will go far in business and in life.
Yes. Where is African real estate failing on in governance and transparency?
Failing in governance, you mean in terms of government policies?
Yes.
I would say that, let me speak for Nigeria. When it comes to real estate development,
yes,
private developers are holding the fort or holding the industry together,
yes,
in Nigeria particularly, and I will narrow it down to Abuja because, of course, Nigeria is the giant of Africa, and whatever happens here tends to have a ripple effect, on the entire continent, not just in West Africa. But government agencies, institutions saddled with the responsibility of ensuring, proper housing and whatnot. I really don't want to downplay the efforts of government institutions. Of course, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come up with the renewed Hope Cities spread across the 36 states of the Federation and even the FCT. And the FCT minister has also come up with the Abuja City Walk, which I'm sure you are very aware of. Yes, it's supposed to be just like the centenary city of the then Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration. So yes, if it's about the government, yes, the government is doing its fair share. But I tell you, the real drivers of growth and development in the real estate industry are private developers who are working in day and night to ensure that we breach the housing deficit in Nigeria. And what is the housing deficit? Over 20 million people do not have homes. currently in Nigeria.
Yes.
I'm not talking about people who are squatting in another person's home. I'm talking about homeless people. We have a homeless people problem in the country, and most times when we look at places like the United States, or we look at other nations of the world that amplify their own homelessness or their own homeless people, we tend to think that the problem is majorly there. But we have a homeless people problem in Nigeria. Take, for instance, in Lagos. Almost all the under bridges in Lagos have people living in either shanties or just sleeping in the open, defecating there, taking their shower there, eating there. Everything is under the bridge. It's a whole community, not just one bridge, several bridges across Lagos. The government has tried time and time again to handle that, but it still comes back. But you can't really blame these people, because at the end of the day, how much access do they have to affordable housing? That is one thing. And even if there is affordable housing via collaborations, maybe a private-public partnership, a PPP, between the Federal Mortgage Bank and private developers, how accessible is it to people who are not civil servants? These are some of the very important questions that the industry has to answer. And that is why we are, as budding entrepreneurs in the real estate industry, we are asking these very important questions, and we are trying to solve these problems. It's not just about profiteering. It's not just about making money in the industry. It's about making real change and ensuring that people who need these houses get the houses at very discounted prices, and in ways that they would indeed know that it's not just about profit on the side of the business, private business owners. It's also about humanity. And it's also not just about governance and re-election and whatnot on the part of the government, but it's also about providing the dividends of democracy, which Nigeria stands for. So yes, we have to bridge the housing gap, the housing deficit, and ensure that everyone has access to good, affordable, and proper housing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have a lot to say. But
Yes.
we have about a minute left.
That's fine.
So I'll just ask you a final question. What's the single most vital advice you'd give to the next generation of African founders and real estate developers?
Well, the single most important advice that I would give to anyone is profit is good in business,
Yes.
but honesty, integrity, transparency, and accountability are things you cannot do away with.
Yes.
There's absolutely no way you can do business and the only thing you rely on is solely profiteering. And that is where many businesses go wrong. That is where many businesses begin to fold up, because they don't have, the courage to be brutally honest with themselves. They lie to the world, and in their closets, they still lie to themselves.
Yes.
So that's it.
It was very nice having you here today.
Thank you very much,
I
Ahmed.
would like to have you back in the future.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, and hopefully we would have more time in the future with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here with us today.
All right.
Yes.